podcast. This is the Strike a Chord podcast. And today we are in one of our highlight episodes. Natalie is here to speak about estate planning with our name, Legacy Trust. Sometimes it adds people have a lot of ideas about what we do and how we do it. And people will come in and ask, do you write trust documents? Do you draft any of the legal documents? So just wanted to open that up to you to talk a little bit about how we approach estate planning here.
Yeah, because thanks for having me, Annie. It's exciting to be here on this episode. So yeah, we have a whole bucket of services here at Legacy. And we do say that estate planning guidance, I guess, is one of those services. But we definitely clarify, with those that inquire that we do not draft documents here in-house. So we're not putting together power of attorneys or wills or trusts because we're not licensed to do that. But some of us do have experience, with the Florida Trust Code and just, hands-on reading wills and trust documents, revocable, irrevocable. And we obviously have very hands-on experience with our clients and the dynamic between, the family partners and their client families. It's very strong relationships. And so, from that perspective, we really get to know the client families and what the patriarchs, matriarchs, second gen, what they really want as far as passing their assets down to the next generation. And so we try to take that knowledge and mix it with what we do know about trust planning and review current documents, make suggestions for changes that maybe more so align with the goals.
Okay.
I said a lot.
You did. You did. Well, and I think one thing that's important to note is you have a very specialized designation. And I think that's important. Not everyone here has that designation. So a lot of the trusts that we do review with our clients, they do tend to pass through your desk. So can you talk a little bit about that designation, what that prepares you for, and how that has really helped you here with our clients?
Yeah. So I'm a CTFA. I was trying to think earlier today, and I didn't get a chance to look back at when I earned the designation, but it's been at least 5-7 years. So CTFA stands for Certified Trust and Fiduciary Advisor. I spent 3 semesters over a period of 3 years going to trust school with Cannon Financial Institute and passed a state exam and continue on with the CE credits every year. So how does that prepare me for this? It is, you're on the route to CTFA as well, so you've completed the first semester, the first year. It's really diving into the trust code, right? And the different planning options, talking about estate tax, generation skipping, transfer tax, property rights, just, it's so much.
Right.
It's a lot of,
Right.
It's kind of like not an accelerated law school, but like a mini law school, I guess.
Well, I think that what I've been able to witness with seeing you in those client appointments and when we do make amendments or we review the trust documents, you're able to provide a lot of insight that really goes alongside what the attorneys are doing with the clients, but maybe provides a little bit more tailoring to each individual family and what they need that the attorneys may or may not have all that background knowledge. So can you expand on that a little bit, or maybe what you enjoy the most about how what you do ties in with the legal documents?
Probably maybe not necessarily what I enjoy the most, but the most satisfying part of this service is summarizing an existing document for the client and them saying, that's not what I wanted, but they can't articulate what they do want, and then making a suggestion based on what I know about the parent and the child or the grandchild, making a suggestion that does articulate, that they go, oh yeah, that's reality. Yes, I want to do that. It doesn't happen all the time, obviously, but to be able to make a suggestion that they didn't even know existed, and then that's the route that we go and partner with the attorney to, implement the documents that say the same, that's very satisfying.
Okay. How often do you recommend that people have their estate documents reviewed?
Probably every 2 years, 1 to 2 to 3 years. Definitely if there's a life change, a new child, a grandchild, a marriage, a divorce, anytime there's a big change in life, definitely we want to look at the documents, make sure they still align. But still every couple of years you should put eyes on them. I mean, the laws change. Laws about digital assets, for example, or, the Secure Act changing the way the language for passing retirement accounts on,
Or the estate tax cap changing and all of these different factors. Okay, great. Anything else about estate planning that on a high level you want to share with any of our listeners?
So, estate planning is a lot about passing assets on to your family or your heirs, but also making sure that power of attorney and healthcare surrogates are updated, because you may have named someone, a family friend, 15 years ago to be your healthcare agent, and that person isn't in your life anymore and you're not even thinking about it. And I mean, just revisiting those important documents, because we're all going to meet the end one day, but also there's a possibility that, we're going to be ill and need someone to take care of our finances and our healthcare decisions for an undetermined amount of time. So making sure that those documents too are updated and aligned.
Okay, great. Well, we wanted to just give a brief overview today, and we will be diving into more in-depth topics within estate planning over the coming weeks and months. But thank you so much for listening, and
thank you for having me here.
Yes,
A little interview.
Thanks for joining us and adding all of your expertise.
Oh, I try. And we're cordless. So.
We are indeed cordless. That is always a sad day.
Yes. Well, on that note,
there you go.